Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to our live trading event. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today and another opportunity to come into the market. And I just thank you so much for your goodness, your kindness, your grace, and your mercy. And I thank you for all of your provisions. And thank you for friends and family. I pray, Father, that you would let me be grateful for every little 3 pips that I can pull out of the market today. And I ask that you would grant us all wisdom and discernment and good discipline as we go into the market. In the name of Yeshua, amen. Okay. We've got unemployment claims in half an hour. That's good. And then, President Trump speaks again at 4 p.m. So late in the afternoon. All right. Well, just the one high impact news event for us in our session. So that should be a good one, though. Good morning, Larry. I have to check back VA this morning in an hour. Oh, good. You're feeling much better today. Good stuff. That is really good to hear. Full healing and restoration for Larry in the name of Jesus. Well, Larry, I realized the mistake that I was making, and it was kind of a ridiculous mistake that I was making. Oh, we're going to break this down. I'm actually just going to get into a trade because I've already done um, just analyze this. So, um, I just fell into the trap of I just was not accepting that I could be in a drawdown in front of people teaching and demonstrating, which is ridiculous. It's trading. But in my mind, I hadn't accepted it and I just wouldn't accept it. And so I ended up crashing a couple times and taking a big hit in this account. And then yesterday I just finally came to grips and realized that's a ridiculous mindset and core belief. And so I changed my core beliefs about the whole situation. And then I just downsized all my trading and just fully accepted that I'm going to be in a drawdown for a while. And I guess what I'm going to do is just turn this into a lesson on digging out of a hole in a drawdown. Like drawdown psychology is what this is going to turn into for a little bit. I ended up like getting ahead yesterday, just super slow. I just did my normal thing, but I downsized everything. I've cut my lot size in less than half than I was trading, and that just took all the edge off of the feelings and the emotions of being in the drawdown, which I think is an important thing to do. You've got to, if you're trading an account that's so small that you can't downsize your lot size anymore, then the other thing you can and have to do is you have to have less trades, less size on. So Yeah, I ended up good. Like I ended up going up from where we left off. Um, when I hit the equity protection yesterday, my low on the account, like my low water level was 93.48 in the account, and let's um yeah, I was at 93.48 and I'm at 93.71. So um $20 or so. It's gonna take me a little bit. I figure if I can get back over to the 95, 9600 level, I can bump back up to my 0.05 lot size. But for now, I'm just trading 0.02s to crawl back. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm rock crawling now with my truck. I've got down pressured down on the tires and I've geared down, and now I've got to crawl for a little bit. But there's no doubt in my mind that we'll pull this account back. I just didn't want to do it at the rate of speed that was necessary. I wanted to do it quick. I wanted to be out of it immediately. That is not feasible. So let's just break down the euro dollar. Yeah, the slow way is the best way. I hate that saying, but it's just true. I gotta tell myself that all the time and like actually believe it. So here we are in the daily. We're still in this just big chop on the daily through here. And we're running into this trend line too that I just drew in here. On the daily chart, we got this trend that we're bumping into right now. That's why I started putting on some trades, because we hit it right as I was talking. So here's the hour chart. We've got that bounce off that line already. I'm gonna just actually start shorting that, because this hour bar is super strong to the downside. And then yeah, but we're on that trend line, so I'll probably trade back and forth a little bit in here, but I'm kind of more so expecting to see a pretty good bounce. Like we're gonna see a bounce. We're gonna see both ways for at least a little bit until the news. So I'll probably will trade both sides. Let's go down to the 15-minute for a second, and we can see this in greater detail through the London session. We were consolidating. We had a strong breakout during the London session. And we've gained a lot of momentum to the downside. You can see these candles, they're increasing in size. These last two are like the same size, so we could see that the slowing momentum is starting to enter into the market. But we had 1, 2, 3 really strong down candles. And then here's the 5-minute chart. Let's measure that leg and see what we got out of that from pivot to pivot. That was a 43 pip move. So I'm going to keep those 50 pip stop losses on for now, just because these moves are still greater than the 35 pip. Like I generally have 35 pip stop losses, but I'm finding that these runs are blowing through that 35 pip measure. So I'm finding that the 50 pip measure is what we need for those stop losses still. So, oh wow, look at that grind. There was no volatility through that. Look at those 1-minute candles, just drop, 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 drop. Barely any movement, but just heading down. That's a frustrating market to trade for me. Unless you're just the person that holds on to your position for 40 pips, then that's just what you want. Yeah, so it's going to be slow for the next little bit. It's going to be more boring and more slow than it ever has been in the course of this live trading that we've been doing. So it's going to be really slow and really boring. And then once we get, I think, probably to that 9,600 level, then I'll start bumping up. Maybe when we get to the 95, I'll bump up my lot size a little bit more. Then 9,600 will bump up just a touch more. And then we'll start catching back up. But for now, we just got to go super slow. So just 0.02 lot size. It's less than half of the size that we were trading a couple days ago. So how'd your day go, Larry? Oh man, did you see that market too? After I hit my equity protection. So that was another thing too, is that I was just still just slightly oversized, even on yesterday's trading, because the market bounced immediately after I hit my equity protection. And I hit my equity protection too soon because I had been exponentially decreasing size in the account. So all of a sudden, um, that equity protection was coming in way sooner than normal too. So I wasn't really prepared. It was just, when you're going down so quickly, you have to exponentially decrease in size. And so I guess we're just going to make this a lesson on drawdown mitigation and drawdown trading. Oh, another thing is yesterday I came up with a new rule for myself. Um, and that rule for me is I'm going to take my base funding level of any account that I'm trading. So regardless of the size that it is, the level that I'm starting the account at, the base funding level, I'm personally going to treat it as if it's like the account breach level, the very bottom of the account. I'm going to treat it as if it's the very bottom of the account, meaning that I've got to trade very lightly and very carefully to get the account into the positive first, and then only in the positive can I start stepping up the lot size. And the reason for that is because I hate drawdowns so much, and they affect me in just such a big, impactful way that I just don't trade well when I'm in a drawdown. So if I can build a buffer in the account first and then start building on it and then increasing size, then I can avoid being in an account drawdown. So that's the goal. The way that I'm going to be trading. So we can take a short here, right on this high here. Yes, I haven't been. Oops. Haven't been feeling. Haven't been trading because I have not felt good. I'm trying to figure out what platform to use with apiary. Remember, tonight is the hive meeting. Yeah, tonight is that hive meeting. So I'll be in that. It's my wife's birthday today. So I'll have to make time for that meeting though. It's going to be an important meeting. Well, I think it's wise if you're not feeling good that you haven't been trading. I'm not usually that wise. I just trade. And it's not good. Yeah, I just hate drawdowns so much that they just impact me in a big way. I don't think so much that it's the value of that I'm losing as much as this that I'm losing, and I'm a bad loser, and that's like something I have to know about myself. And like this job is about being a good loser, but I've never really been a very good loser, and I think that's why it's taken me so long to get good at trading. I'm still working on becoming a better and better loser. But in the meantime, I've still got to use every tool and every method I can to work with the way that I am too. So I think that assuming that the base funding level of an account is the breaching the bottom point, I think is a decent way for me to just slowly build a buffer. And that way it just trains me to start slow and build into the buffer. And then you really only start trading with money that you're in the positive with. And you're risking money that you've only made, which I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I think it's a good idea. So that's new for me. And but now at this rate, we've got to just crawl back up. It's going to take some days, probably a week or two to get back, but we will do it. And maybe it will be a help for you or Vin as well as myself, just to see the time and patience it takes to crawl back out of a drawdown. You're not a good loser either. Yeah, that's what makes it hard for us types. The competition spirit in me is strong. Oh, yesterday I was so mad, Larry. When we shut this down yesterday, I was fuming, so angry. It's a good thing I shut it down. Took a breather. I then did a big workout too, and I worked out extra hard just to get all that energy out of me. And then I came back to the chart and calmed down. I sized down, and then I traded for a while longer and put like $10 back in the account, and at least started going upward again. Yeah, I was really, really upset and angry. That was like after like 3 or 4 stop outs, then got to stop out in front of you guys too. I was not happy. But we're moving on. It is what it is. And let's keep the proper expectations. Expectations are always something that can be a major hindrance. With the wrong expectations, you won't even be able to trade. So you've got to have the expectations set properly in order to be able to function properly in the market. Oh, you're on the couch resting, and she thought it was your worst day. That's no good. Is it just completely draining you, your sinus problem? Just taking a profit there on that second layer. Oh, it's gonna be slow. Yeah, it really drains you. Is it kind of so total blockage, kind of like the worst cold? So you can't breathe and you're just blocked up like that. Is that what you're talking about with your sinuses? Just can't breathe. Totally congested. Huh. It's just absolutely no fun. Sorry to hear that. But we'll put you in our prayers. We truly believe that it is the Father's will for us to be healed. And that's kind of a newer revelation for me. I didn't quite understand that, didn't understand the scriptures on the subject of healing too well. I just used to think that, like, oh, if it's his will, then he'll fix me. But now I'm confident with full assurance that it is his will that we are healed. And so we pray with full authority in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, full restoration and healing for Larry and his sinus problem. We know with confidence that by his stripes we were healed. And so we speak with authority over the situation of Larry's sinuses. Full healing and restoration. I'm just going to put another level in here. You know what? That news is going to just blow this stuff probably out of the water, but we'll put these lines in just for habit for now. You know what might even be better, because there's not even really good support points here. There just isn't. This is all just one big move. So I think what would be a better tool here would be the Fibonacci levels. Like those would probably be, these levels would probably be a better measure of where the market would want to line up on, although I'm not even finding that the current move is okay. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Now that lines up a little bit better, like that. Yep, and then that line lines up on that pivot. The 50% lines up there, so that's better. That tool can give us a bit of a, okay, so short right here. It gives us a bit of an idea of where the market might stop and start, the action points that it should take. But the news could just blow this right off the charts too. So we'll see. We got 6 minutes to the news. Gotta put that back on. Just gonna pull up Forex Factory on my phone. We've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds to unemployment claims. Want to make sure those take profits are on, because it looks like we're going to be going into the news with these trades on. So any test of the bottom, we want to make sure that we grab those take profits and get out in case it bounces up. Let's just go look at the hour chart for a second. I want to just re-look at that, because right on that hour chart, we're on this trend line right here. So we could see a pretty good bounce. We could see a little bit of up and down in here, and then we could also see a break and then just go flying back down with dollar strength. That's a possibility here. I don't think it will just immediately take off unless we really have some strong numbers. So I'm expecting some tug of war for a little before it picks a direction, but I don't know. So we could see a pretty good bounce off of here, or maybe we see a breakdown. But it's an important level. Let's also see what other level we can put on here with the horizontal line. 1.152 is an important level right there. 1.152. If we can break down, it's a strong sell. If we hold above that, it's a good chance we're gonna be seeing some upward movement. Okay, we're at the news right now. Let's see what happens. $210K. Yeah, it's just nothing really. It's pretty much a non-event. There's a profit target hit. I didn't have a starting balance, did I? Let's just say we were at 372. We'll put that in the live starting balance. $372. Okay, and get another short in here. I'm going to take that profit right there because it's just, the target was just a tiny bit below. Oh, okay, would have hit it anyway. But I expected a little bounce, so I just took it a tiny bit early. 50 cents instead of 60 cents. And there's the second target hit. All right, we're almost up $1. No, we're over $1 now. If this comes back down to the bottom, I'll buy it. We'll play both sides. If it pops back up, let's short it right here. If it pushes down to that low, we can buy it. I think I'm just going to get this fib out of here. Can maybe put a couple lines back in. We know that this is one of them. And then it was lining up on here. Oh, that's right on the 54 mark as well. So that's going to be an important spot. If it heads above that 54, that's kind of like breaking the 50%. So we would probably, well, I guess we have that 62 line would still be in here. I'm gonna add a couple because I'm downsized so much. I'm gonna add a couple layer trades in here. See if I can find the pivots because I'm under half the size, so I can afford a couple more trades and under these lines. And then that's kind of nice though. When you downsize so much, you gain a little bit more flexibility, which I find it helps you to find the pivot points better when you have more trades and less size. And so sometimes you can actually get in and out of your trades faster by downsizing. Okay, so we'll get one more trade when it gets to the top. And then that'll be the last one for this level. Okay, right there. So then we'll have to wait for this line if it's going to keep going up. Then we'll put in 2 or 3 trades up on this line. And then another, so we'll do 2 here, and then 3 here, and then we'll just wait because if it's going to go running up there, we'll probably have to wait for some, we'll just let it run for a bit and then we'll figure out the next spots. So 2 here, 3 here, and then we just let it run. If it's going to shoot up, that is. Hey Larry, did you get into, what's Todd saying? You've been getting into his classes in the morning? Is he giving you any information or like anything valuable? Or is he really just saving it for tonight's meeting? Oh, he's not on this morning either. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure they'll have a better idea of what's going to happen today after they've essentially had a week to talk about it and plan and stuff. So I'm hoping that tonight's meeting will be a lot more informative. Should be. Good afternoon, Vin. Good to have you. How you doing today? Just taking profits on that first upper trade? Oh, okay, you haven't traded yet today? Just getting into it. Well, then I'm going to go over a little bit of what I was telling Larry about earlier. Um, Over the past few days, my mindset was completely in the wrong spot. And I'm sure you guys knew that and could see that. But a big problem of why I ended up crashing so much is that I just had not fully accepted that it was okay to be in a drawdown, especially while like demonstrating in front of people. And so my core beliefs were just way off. In my mind, it's not acceptable. It wasn't okay to be sitting in a drawdown. And that's not realistic. Like, you're just going to be in a drawdown sometimes. You can't help that. If you're just doing your thing as a trader, you're just going to end up there sometimes. But I wasn't accepting it or allowing it, which I don't know if is maybe pride hitting me or just I don't know what it is, but I was not in the right space. It was just the wrong core beliefs. And I shifted that. I changed that yesterday after hitting that equity protection again yesterday. And man, I'm glad I stepped away because I got really angry because then that market bounced immediately. I mean, it bounced immediately after hitting my equity protection. So yeah, it was a very emotional time. You were going into heavy. I had gone into heavy as well. Like, I shouldn't have hit my equity protection where we did, but the mistake also was is that when you take an account down so much, all of a sudden your risk is exponentially increasing. Like, I didn't realize how quick that equity protection was coming up, just because I'd lost so much. So I was kind of like also caught off guard to see how fast it was coming in. So that just goes to show that when you're in a drawdown, you must exponentially decrease your size and trading volume in order to accommodate the drawdown. And so what I was telling Larry is that I guess what we're going to do here is we're turning this into like uh, a, a class or a trading event on how to get out of a drawdown. Yeah, I was emotional. I was super angry, very upset. And when we closed it down, man, I was fuming. I'm just not, at the end of the day, I'm still not a very good loser. And that's something I still need to get better at. But I had a very aggressive workout and just got all that energy out of me and took a breather and sat down. I came back to the charts and I traded. But what I did was I got myself in the right mind space, the right head space, and I took my trading size down to less than half of what we were trading at. So now trading 0.02s. And I just took it really easy. And that helped take the edge off. And then just got back to the way I should be trading. But so now I'm in the right headspace. It's going to take some days, maybe a week, maybe even 2 weeks to get back. But if that's the case, I can't lose this account. We just spent like 55 days getting this live account. So we can't just go losing it. So the reality is it's just going to be very slow and boring getting this account back up. But we will get the account back up, and we're going to just watch and learn the lesson together on how we need to exponentially slow down and lighten up in order to gain and go forward. We have to slow down to go forward. So I was relating it to, like, if you're like driving, or if you're off-roading and you hit like a really rough rocky patch, you got to like air down your tires, gear down into low, and then you got to like crawl. You're rock crawling, or you're just maneuvering really slowly and carefully. And that's essentially what we're doing here with the account, just gearing way down and slowing down in order to move forward. And I hate that. Like, I don't want to slow down. It just bothers me so much. But I got into that mindset yesterday. Oh, good morning, Reggie. Nice to have you with us. I kind of wish I waited a couple more minutes before I just went through that. I don't know what you caught of that, Reggie. I went through the past few days. I hit a losing streak, and then I got an exponential emotional into an emotional spot yesterday and the day before, and I just was so upset about the losses. And I had made essentially, I was not accepting. I wasn't allowing my core beliefs to be in the right space. I was not accepting that it was okay to be in a drawdown while teaching and demonstrating in front of people, and which is not realistic, but it was the reality of my core beliefs were off. My core beliefs were saying it's not okay, it's not acceptable to be in this drawdown space. I need to get out immediately. And that was completely incorrect and wrong. So yesterday we hit that stop out, and it took me a little bit to come to grips and get over the fact that we're just going to be in a drawdown for some days and maybe a week or two now. But if I didn't change my mind, I would blow up the account, and then we'd just be starting all over again. So rather than blow up the account, we downshift gears, slow way down in order to move forward. So I was telling Larry earlier that I think if I can get this account back over the 9,500 mark, I can start to slowly bump the size back up a little. If I get over the 9,600 mark, I can probably get back up to 0.04s or 0.05s once I hit that 97, 9,800. I'll slowly level it back up as we start to climb back up. But for now, just going to be trading 0.02s, and it's going to be a slow, boring grind. Yeah. To be honest with you guys, I've done it many times, a lot of times, been in this situation. But it was a little bit new for me, presenting and trading in front of everybody. Like, if I weren't doing that, I'd probably have been more okay with just being in the drawdown. I know that you just got to take your time to get out, but I was like not accepting it. I was like, this is unacceptable. I can't be in this drawdown in front of everybody. But that was, I'd say it's like, that's pride, and I don't know if it's arrogance or just like just being emotional. I just didn't want that. I hated it. I'm not naturally a very good loser, and so I just didn't want that for anybody. But eventually, yesterday, after another stop out, I either keep trading and blow up, or step aside and change the whole beliefs, change the core beliefs, the whole inner inside of me had to change and shift in order to move. Yeah, it is the reality of trading. And so now what we're doing, because I not blew this account up, so put such a big dent in it, that now we're going to be crawling back. We're airing down the tires, we're downshifting, and we're going to like smoothly rock crawl back up. And we will. We'll do it. It's just going to take some time. It's going to be slow and boring. But I mean, I think that one of the best lessons is to learn how to manage that drawdown state, because it's, once we get in that state, it's one of the most like fickle points in our trading, or most vulnerable points, is when we start getting into a drawdown. We start becoming like a loose cannon with our actions. And so we're just going to do it together. Just slow it right down, have size down less than half the size of what we were trading at. And that edge is completely gone, like that, or that fear edge has been lifted because of the downsizing. Yeah, when your strength and energy comes from the creator of heaven and earth, what is it that you can't do? Of course we can. We can do all things through the one that created and made us. Through Christ who strengthens us. My strength and my energy comes from God, and it's not of me that does anything that's good. I can't take credit for the things that are good. I can only credit my Father in heaven for graciously giving me strength, skills, talent, energy to achieve and to attain things. Okay, if we get another pop-up, we'll short it again, but this is actually quite slow. Notice the past couple days that once we hit that that 10 a.m. Eastern mark, that's where the volatility's been starting back up. So in another hour from now, that's when the volatility's been starting. So maybe we'll do a little bit of a longer, well, maybe we'll get into that hour just for a little bit. But it's also my wife's birthday today, so I can't be just sitting here trading all day, which is what I actually like to do. I really do like trading. All right, let's get into one more trade here. We'll get into two on this level, this line. And because we've downsized so much, we can afford a couple little trades here. So just get into one, but if it pops up a bit more under the red line, get into a second one. A little bit more, a little bit higher pop, and I'll get into that second one. Yeah, we'll get out of this. It's just going to take time. Oh, and then Vin and Reggie, I also, through yesterday's trading, I built a new rule into my trading. Okay, Larry's got to head out. He's going to go to the hospital. He's getting some, I think, getting some work done on the sinuses. So God bless you, Larry. And we'll have you in our prayers. And we're praying for full healing and restoration over Larry. And we'll catch you later. We'll see you later, buddy. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, we'll definitely keep you in our prayers. Okay, just add that one more trade in. So now that layer is done. Can't add any more in this layer. Once we pop up to the next layer, then we can get into 2 trades. And then that third layer up top, we'll get into 3 trades. And then after that, we're going to just let the market run. If it's going to shoot up, we'll just let it. That's over the 62%. It'll probably make its way up into these highs. Hopefully we don't have to deal with that, but we have to be prepared for it. So we've got a game plan if it keeps going up. If it pops down, I feel like we can also start going long on that. Let's just see how it gets down there if it goes down. Oh yeah, I was saying for Reggie and Vin, I made a new rule for myself yesterday. I've never done this before, but I realized that I hate the drawdowns so much, and I end up performing bad in them usually until I come around and like accept that I gotta downshift and slow down, which is I just I naturally hate doing that. But so what I'm gonna do is when I get a new account, I'm going to take that base funding level. So regardless of what the size is of the account, if it's a 5K or if it's a 10K, I'm going to treat that base funding level that it's sitting at pretty much as the bottom of the account, like the breaching point. So that means I've got to trade it like very lightly and carefully to get it into positive territory. And then only once I start gaining momentum and gaining into that positive territory will I then start to like bump up the risk and start to accelerate. But I've gotta make it that rule so that I'm trading only with gains. And I think as long as I'm starting to get ahead, you can start stepping on the gas more and more. You can size up as you make gains, and then you have that like exponential ramp in your equity, which is good. But I think for me, I'm making a new rule where I'm going to treat the base funding level as pretty much the bottom of the account. So I got to be super careful to build money, build a buffer into the account, and then start to ramp up the risk only in profits rather than risking when you're in a drawdown. So I'm trying to do the opposite of what we naturally do or what I've naturally done. You want to like ramp up the risk when you're in the drawdown so that you can get out of it. But I'm going to turn that around and we're going to just trade super light in the drawdown spot to get back up. And then we can ramp up sizing as we gain profits in the account. So that's for me personally what I'm going to be doing. Oh, What did I just do there? Yeah, you think that's a decent idea? Yeah, it helped is to mitigate the emotions of being in a drawdown. If you just start out super slow and carefully until you're trading with profits, then you don't have to be in that state of drawdown. All right, if we can get we're starting to bump into this little ledge right here. Which is I think this is the 50% level, halfway point here. So if it pops up a little bit more, we'll start getting into some more shorts. Yeah, we will get out of this drawdown. It's just about having the right expectations. I'm now let go of the thought of getting this back tomorrow or the next day. And I've accepted that's just going to take probably a week or two to get it back. And now that I've accepted that, I should be able to start moving the account forward again. Okay, if it pops up, I'm going to grab a short. You can see it stalling right on that little ledge right already. Okay, let's get into one here. And then that target comes in just above that high, which is good. It would be a little bit better for a bit higher up. So we'll get into one more trade. If it pops up a bit more, get into one more short. But it is slow though. Like this grind from that London session breakdown, look how there's no volatility in there. It's just tiny little candles marching down. Very low volatility on that move. So hopefully that volatility, if it doesn't come into this hour, hopefully we get the volatility in the next hour. Because at this rate, it's just going to take a long time. So one more little pop up. I'll grab another short. Okay. Almost there. There we go. So we'll add the short there. And that's it for that layer. And then once we get up to that next one, we can get into 3. Just gotta wait, see what happens. Man, these markets are slow. I can show you guys what we were looking at earlier on the hourly chart. We're bumping into this trend line right in here, right in there. So it's a pretty good spot for this to be having a rally back up. But I don't know. So I don't really know if it wants to break through that line, then we'd be pretty strong short signals to head back down. But it's also, that's why it's bouncing back up, is we've got this pretty strong trend line right now. So definitely good to be aware of. And it also puts us at that breaking point of that trend. Is that also where we're right at that 1.152 even. If we can break and hold below that, then probably pretty good to stay on the short side. But if it bounces off of that, we could be rallying back up. All right, we took a little bit of profit. And that target is just probably, it's just barely in an okay spot. We want to see that, it's just bouncing off of it because it's right on this point here. thinking maybe I should have just bumped that target up a tiny bit. But it's leaning into that right now, so yeah, I'm just gonna take that profit there. I just don't, it's just at a really good spot for it to bounce back up. So just take a little tiny bit less profit for probability. So those were 2 profits, so we can take that loss on the bottom. And then if it rallies back up, we will reset and do that again. So we took 2 small wins and then a small loss. Probably could have grabbed a long there too. If it pushes back down, I'll grab the long, and we'll trade both sides of the market because it's just so slow. And then we'll have lots of opportunities if we're trading both sides, and we'll be relatively in a hedged position, meaning that we'll be also in a low risk position too. So if it pops down, we'll grab some longs. If it goes back up, we'll reload into that short position again. Okay, get into 2 here, 2 shorts. That was a really good spot for a bounce back up. So I'm glad we just took that little profit while we had it there. And then we'll get into 3 shorts up on the next line. And then as we gain some profits, we'll have to mitigate the losses and take some losses on the downside. Okay, gonna start getting ready to build the shorts in case it pops up. Definitely want, if it pops up quickly, I definitely want to get a good stack of shorts on. Okay, there's the first candle breaking up. It's the second candle breaking up. We can start fading into that one position. and get into two more as it pushes up. Guess I should have been a little bit quicker. It just bounced right off of that line perfectly. Yeah, so we took profit just on one trade rather than three. It's kind of too bad, but you just never know. So if it bounces back up, we'll load into three, try and get into three again. And then we'll try and take a loss. I just can't really take a loss with that one little trade yet. I wanted to get into a full size layer and then earn some profits to take that loss. Okay, we might get another attempt, another opportunity here. Or if this just comes down and hits those targets, we can then take off one of those losses too with those profits made. So either way, still just fine. I don't really want it to go running and just go taking off upward. It's be hard to manage our way through it, but we will. Not oversizing this time. Oh, Vin just made 30 pips into the green. You were short first, then switched to longs. Great. Nice. That's great. Did were you just trading at something like this, or were you did you have take profits on, or were you just like holding for the trade to run up? It's whatever it is. It was a good play. Oh, okay. You were holding until you hit 5 pips. Do you commonly like to hit 5 pips? Like, is that what you're usually shooting for? All right. If we get another pop up, we'll get those shorts back on. Looking at 1 hour chart, I saw that it moved down a lot for the news, then had to retrace back up. So that's when I closed shorts and put on longs. Yeah. Uh-huh. And it was yeah, it was like a 40 pip move down. And so it was a great chance for the market to reset at the news and pull back up. Yep, for sure. That was a good play. Still really slow though. Okay, I'm getting ready to add this short layer back on. If it pops up enough. Man, it just feels so dead though. I'm really hoping that the next hour just brings the volatility back. These are just tiny little candles. They're barely going anywhere. Are you now putting pending trades, short trades? Are you putting them like kind of like on that top line that I've got there? Or you got them somewhere else? I could definitely put some pending shorts at that line that I want to trade at. We're almost there right now. Just got to pay attention to it if it pops up. I'm going to get into 3 shorts. Okay, oh, I'm going to just start fading into those shorts just on the pop up. It's hard to be in sync with this. I'm having a hard time with the cadence of the market. Okay, so 1. I'm going to get into 2 more just as it pushes up. Two, and 3. Okay, that's it for that layer. $1.1535 short from here. Should get back to 1.15. 1.153. Ah, 1.1535, right up there. Yeah, that's a pretty good resistance point. And then back down to 1.5. 1.15. Oh, wait, sorry, 1.1. What did you say? What did Vin say? He said, oh, it's gone. Yeah, that 1.1535 is a good spot, though, for sure. All right, nice. So that top layer seems to be getting those profit targets. Just got to hit one more, and then we'll take a loss on the downside. So I'm getting my finger on the trigger to close this bad trade, the biggest losing one. As soon as we hit that last target, I'm gonna get rid of that loss. And if we bounce back up, we'll just get back into those two more trades. Okay, almost back up there again. One, and a little bit push higher. I'll get into the second one again. Almost there. Okay, there. Okay, both those closed out, so we'll take a loss off the bottom. And now we just only have one more that's down there to deal with. So in the history, we took another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, and then a loss again. And as soon as this bumps back up, we'll do it again. So we'll get into 3. So I'm going to get into 1 here. It's not the greatest spot, but I'm going to get into another. I'm just scattering my trades. So then we'll get into 2 more up at the top. Yeah, see that that's why I got into that one there, because it was a pullback. And that's just part of the advantage of having lower sizing, so that you can have a higher volume of trades. You don't have to nail the entries as perfectly, as precisely, which I really like, having the flexible entry so that you can, I find that more trades gives you higher probability of hitting your targets, and then kind of a little bit easier to make money. There we go. We hit that target too. Then saying short from that 1.1535 down to the 1.15 on the hour chart. I will trail it up as market moves up. Very small 5-minute candles, plateauing now on 5-minute. Yeah, it's just been really slow this morning. Small candles, barely moving. Very slow. Just barely missed those targets. Because if we had hit them, we could have got back into those trades again, but we missed them. So it pops back up. We'll get into 3 again up here and do it all over again. You can see the energy's coming into the market with this candle. Oh, we hit the market open, so it's the stock market open just a few minutes ago, but that's the energy that we're seeing right now, I think, is just the new participants coming in. That's good. So just being prepared to get 3 more trades up on this line here if it jumps up. Okay, getting ready again in case this jumps up. Got 3 trades to put in at this level. So I could put one in here. Let's just do that. We'll put one in here. And that way we can possibly gain pips in this consolidation. But otherwise, we'll get into two more up here. That just increases our probability, just scattering, blanketing the area. Man, it has been slow. Okay, we got a wick on top now. That should get us into that next target. There it is. So it's good that we put one trade on rather than getting all three on. We just scattered and got one trade on. So we at least took some profit there. If it jumps back up, we will find our way back into three trades. Okay, so I'm gonna, as this fades upward, I'm gonna get back into one. And then I'm gonna get into two more up here. Okay, I'm going to get into one here, and then one more up here. Okay, and the last one right there. So that's the 3 trades for that layer. Okay, it looks like it's going to break up. So we'll get into at least 4 trades up on the next line. Yeah, we should get into 6 there. And then we'll get rid of that very bottom trade. And also have to start getting rid of some of these trades, but we definitely want to get rid of that bottom one that's lingering. So I'll let this thing push up a little higher. We'll start getting in here, start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So let's see if we can get profits on that layer. Just starting to take some profits right now. So we'll get rid of that bad trade that's lingering down there. Get rid of that one. Okay, just cleared out the rest of those. So we'll also go for a long right here, just because there's a lot of energy coming into that. So I'll trade the long side through here as well, just to chip away, and we'll find our profits just so that we don't have to stop out and hit stop losses. So we'll work our way through this. If it comes back down here, we'll go for another long. So on the long side, we've got one there. We'll go into another long here. Then if it comes all the way back down here, we'll get into 2 or 3 longs down here. And then we'll figure it out if it comes all the way back down here. We'll get into some more, but that should be enough for now. It gets back up top. We'll get into 6 again. Actually, maybe we should do 4. I don't like going the same value. Between 4 and 6 trades. We'll see. If it shoots through, maybe we'll get up to 6. But if we're staying under here, just do 4 this time. Just get my finger on the buy as well. It pushes down a bit more, we'll get into that second buy. Okay, almost there. One more little push. Okay, we'll just get into it there. Now we've got 2 buys on. Yeah, it shot up quite a bit. Let's see how much that candle really was. Well, from pivot to pivot, that was 15 pips. That was a pretty good size jump up. And then just that 1 minute candle alone. Oh. That 1 minute candle was 7 pips, or you can say it was 10 pips all the way to the top. It was a pretty good shot up. Hopefully just between right now and the next 30 40 minutes we should have some good volatility, and we'll hopefully make some decent profits through here, just through the up and down. I don't think it's just going to take off in one direction from here, so hopefully we'll be able to make profits on both sides. So if this shoots up, we're going to take some profits, and then we'll get into the shorts again. There's one profit on the buy. So we'll add one short. And I'm going to get into 4 under the line. If it shoots up a little bit more, I'll get into a total of 6 trades. So there's 1 trade to the short side. And then if we can take profit on the downside, we'll also mitigate the risk and take off one of those losses. on the short sell. So we just made profit on that short. So we're going to get out of this bad short position, mitigating that risk. And we can also get into another long right here. And then we just don't care which way it goes. As long as it goes up and down, we'll be making some money. It formed a double bottom on the 4-hour chart before moving up, and on the 1-hour chart. Okay, there's some more profit on the buy, so we'll just get back into the short. And as it pops up, we're going to get into another 3 shorts. Okay, there's more profit on the short side. We'll get back into a long again here. And we're doing really well trading this back and forth, making profits, just continually putting profits back into the account. And so that will allow us to mitigate however we need to. It's just offering a lot of flexibility right now. It's just really good. And then we're into one long up here and then a second long here. So as that shoots down, we can potentially make profits on the shorts and we'll add back into the longs. Be nice to just get a big shot down through here and we'll buy it and then go back up. That would be cool. It is one of my favorite positions to be in when we've got we've got the market cornered. Like it just can't go anywhere without us taking profits. So I really like that. And then when you have your technique to wobble out of the position that ends up being in a loss, you wobble your way out of it and you just maneuver out of it. And then sometimes on days like this when it's really choppy, you just make profits both sides and you don't have to do too much wobbling. So we'll see what happens next, but we should be able to do well on both sides. Okay, so as this pushes down, we'll start getting into the longs and we're going to be taking profit at the same time. So there's profits on the shorts. We'll get into a long. We're going to get into another long. And we're taking profits on the shorts. So we're getting into a third long. So we got 1, 1, and then we've got 3. So now if we zip back up, we'll take profits on the longs and we'll get rid of the bad long position, the one that's all the way at the top. So there's some profits already on that first two or first one. So if we just hit that target, we'll gather up those profits and take off a loss on the top side. Super close. There's those profits, so we'll take the loss on the top. Now we just have one. We can add the short back on as well. I know, I hope it's not getting too confusing. We're just doing a mirrored version of everything we've been doing, just doing it on both sides. And at the moment, we're hedged and we're ahead. So we're in a really good spot. It doesn't matter which way this goes, we're going to make some money. Not quite seeing that double bottom that you're seeing on the 4-hour chart, Vin. I'm sure it's in there, I'm just not quite seeing it. Maybe the 1 hour. Maybe I'm not zoomed out enough. Oh, maybe it was back here. There was a double bottom in there. Down to the 15-minute chart here. Kind of have maybe a double bottom here on the 15-minute chart. Okay, as this goes up, we'll short it. As it fades up, Okay, so if we can start taking profits on that short target, we'll just buy again. Let's just buy right here. Oh, no, sorry. As it was pushing down, we could have bought, but when it pushes down, we'll buy. Right there. We'll also get into a second buy if it drops down and hits that target. Okay, just took some profit there, so we'll buy again. So we've got one buy up top now. We've got two buys here. Get into, what time is it? Oh, we just crossed over the new hour. Okay. So yeah, this should be the good hour. Just taking some profits again on the upside now. And if we can even just get up, if we can hit that target, we don't even need to hit this top target to be in the profits. We're just already in profits because we were taking it both sides. So if we want, we could just hit that target and be done and take a small loss, or we can let it go and hit it. I'll probably wrap us up here in the next opportunity that we get. There's that one target getting hit. So if we can just get a little bit more follow through, we'll just take that trade off at a break even. Or if it pops down, we'll get into a couple more longs. Okay, let's just get into one long right here. And that brings that target right in under that high, that red line. That's decent. Matches up with these other highs. And then we'll get into one more buy down here at these lows. If we can just hit that target, we can just close that other one for a small loss. Actually, here, what we'll do is we'll just bring this target, that's a take profit, we'll match it up with that target, and then when it hits that, it will take a small loss on that upper trade and a win on our bottom trade for a net win. So we'll just see what happens next year. If we could just hit that target now, that would probably take us over to the 380 point, which would be a good number to wrap up at. We started the live at 372. So you can see how much slower you've got to go when you've put a dent in the account. The gains are the less, you've just got to move a lot slower. But it is what you have to do. That's how you get out of these drawdowns, is you slow everything down. Okay, so we'll add one buy if it pushes down. Get into another one. Grab one here. And then we'll get into one more on these lows. We've got this kind of big rounding pattern over here, and then we've got kind of like a head. I'm wondering if we're gonna get another rounding shoulder, like it would match up if we had this extend out over to here and then wrap down. It could just go down now, but I'm kind of thinking that we'll match something like this and round over. We could head right up, but if we do round over, I'd say that we've got kind of like a nice head and shoulders starting over here. So we'll just gotta, we're in a waiting game right now. We gotta just see what happens next. Okay, just hitting that target. See if we can hit that last target right in there. Just one more push, that would get us out of here. Just starting to come up to these highs. Okay, there's a strong candle to the upside. And a push back down. If it drops down aggressively, we'll buy it again. I think maybe we should move this line a little bit more up to here now. We've got these lows over here, and we've had these couple lows come in. Okay, almost there. So close. Nice, there we go. We hit that 380 mark, and we'll call that good. So we'll still do the percentage gain for today so you can see how much, or we're making a lot less now in the account, but I think it's just important to see how much the speed you've got to reduce in order to start going forward out of a drawdown. This is drawdown trading that we're doing. So we started this session. Oh, I got to put in the other number first. So we're at 9,380 minus where we started, which was 9,372. Oh shoot, I missed the decimal point. 60.6 minus 9,372 equals $8.60. Divide that by the 9,372 times 100, and it gets us at a 0.1%. So now you can see our numbers, they're like half the gain, 0.1%, whereas we were making like 0.2, 0.3 was pretty common. So that's the speed that we got to go to get out of this drawdown. So we're doing some drawdown trading. It's going to take some days, maybe into late next week. We can bump things up or maybe get to the green. But with the right expectations, we'll get this account back in order. Thank you so much for showing up. Really appreciate you guys, Vin and Reggie. God bless you guys. Have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.